Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So this is kind of deep. We're going to talk about why narcissistic abuse hurts so bad. So I'm not really going to go into rape. If that's a trigger for you, please feel free to sign out. But so I just watched this one video on where this lady was saying how, she had a narcissistic father, and then she goes throughout her life, how she was raped before, sexually abused, strangled 5 times, felt like she was going to die, scared for her life. And she said nothing was as bad as a narcissistic abuse. So I'm going to relate it to her story, to my life, my perspective on why sometimes it can be worse than physical abuse, and why that is. My experience in my life, I'm a burn victim. I've had stitches several times. I was never abused, just a lot of accidents, broken bones, surgeries for where they put expanders in to do burn scar revision. I've been molested. I've been raped several times. I've had a gun to my head. I've never really been in fights, but I've had physical pain, severe as burns. I've had several surgeries, um, bone repair. I've had pins put in. So I know physical pain. I've gotten to twice, I got to such physical pain that I passed out. Couldn't, my body just shut down. And that's like maximum threshold in my point, where your body shuts down and you black out. You can't take it anymore. But I healed from that. And I don't want to discount anybody who's gone through rape. It's traumatic. Some rapes are more physically violent. I kind of went limp. It's still scary, but some, people get cut and shot at, or terrible things. But it's a moment in time, and we're emotionally damaged from that for the rest of our lives. There can be the CPTSD. So I don't want to discount any of that. But narcissistic abuse, when you're in it, just like the physical rape, whatever, you got the CPTSD that lingers on. While we're going through the narcissistic abuse, it's different. I'm going to compare it to when I was burnt. When I was burnt, that was like 6 months of healing, plus surgeries later on in life. But you get reassurance, or you get care. You can see progress. But with the narcissist, it's flip-floppy, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's inconsistent. The reassurances that they give you are false. So after a while, you don't know what to believe, and you're searching for answers. When I was in the hospital searching for answers, is this going to heal, or what's the next step? And they didn't bullshit me. They told me what was up. And it was 6 months. Residual still, scars hurt sometimes for years when they're healing. But with the narcissist, it can be decades sometimes. It can feel safe, and then out of nowhere, or it distorts your reality. So when I was burnt, I knew the reality. I knew the reality. But when you're with a narcissist, you feel safe for a while, and then all of a sudden it's very unsafe. And it's little minute things that we don't always recognize. Just the poor communication, the cognitive dissonance that we go through, the mental struggle, the exhaustion, the walking on eggshells. And I'm not discounting anybody's trauma in their lives, but this is what my trauma was. The trauma with the narcissist, I went through 2 of them, and screaming out in pain, trying to just, my second one, are you alive or dead? The other one was 2 court orders, to where no matter what I did during our custody battle, I'd be screwed. And the stress that creates, and just tell me, when the exchanges, or just communicate with me, or even tell me what you want. The police reports against me, the breaking into my business with like cops breaking in, just uh, mind blowing. You never felt safe. Just the control over your entire life. Um, I was never violent to the first one or any of them, but talking about the first one, but to get a PPO against me, my degree's in criminal justice. So even when I'm away from the narcissist, it's damaging my life. I couldn't get the job in my career because with a PPO, personal protection order, you can't carry a weapon. I've never had, like I said, I've never been in a fight. Drugs, alcohol, I don't do that kind of stuff. I told you the last 2 years I drink some wine, but I've never been like um like raging out of control. I do get frustrated sometimes, just like you guys have, where you talk a little louder and a little hyped up. But the control over, I started dating and he contacted the person I was dating. It's like your whole life is destroyed. And the trauma that we go through, it's that addiction that we have in our brains from the brain chemistry that's gone on. So when I was a burn victim, I had this injury. I don't remember any nightmares. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I was 5. But it it's reality. It's reality. This happened to me. But with the narcissist, we're like, did they love me? Did they not love me? Did I stick it out for this reason? What can I believe? Can I believe other people? We're questioning our sanity. We're like, I swear that he said that. Um, and sometimes you have no way to prove it, and I just went through one recollection where I was like, wait, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but he spelled someone's name important in his life a different way, and not that big of a deal, but I would have spelled it the traditional way. And I was like, oh, so I stuck it in my head. Remember it's spelled this way. Remember it's spelled this way. Never met the person, but the name popped up. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's not spelled the other way. It's spelled the traditional way. And it's kind of like, did I remember it correctly? And then you're thinking and you're like, I saw, and you're trying in your mind to go through like text messages, because you didn't talk about the person that much, but trying to reread it in your mind, like, am I remembering this the right way? And I still swear, because I remember sticking it in my head, spell it the right way. And then you see it's not spelled that way. And then you're like, what's really going on? And why would they purposely like mislead you? Is I, and it sounds stupid, like somebody's name, who cares? But they're hiding something. Maybe, I don't know, they didn't want me to search them on Facebook. It's not an ex-girlfriend or anything like that, but it just doesn't make sense. And even just the amount of time wasted on that, the brain power, the confusion, as you get older too, you're like, am I losing my mind? I went through that with both of my exes, where you're like, I swear that happened. I swear. And, I'm an intelligent person. I've been to law school, things like that. Like, I'm not dumb, but I do forget things sometimes. And you start questioning your reality and the brain chemistry that we're going through. That withdrawal, the confusion, the cognitive dissonance, everything we're going through is physically uncomfortable. And it's like we get stuck in it. Even when we're not with the narcissist, it can last for a long time. There's going to be triggers that we have to deal with, because it can be lifelong what we're going through. But it does get better if we take hold of it and do the things we need to do. I have my ups and downs, and today, I had I'm an art teacher now, and I had another, we have 3 in our group from different schools, we get together, and one invited me to this like paint and also like this health awareness type sales pitch thing, but I ended up going and it was really nice. We sat outside, we painted, she did like a little canvas thing and we painted, and I met new people. There was another girl from the school also, and I've only been at this school for 4 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is. So I'm developing more friendships. The person I have at my school, I'm developing a better, deeper friendship. We can talk about things now. And, I showed the one that invited me that I'm willing to be there for her. Um, and it will grow. And I look back at, like, I'm glad I went. I was thinking about not going, and I was just sat around the house, not done anything, maybe walked around the block, which is good. Probably was just kind of walked walked around. I walk around a lot. I don't sit in my living room. I just don't. Uh, I don't watch TV, because I'm still going through stuff. I try to distract myself. And it's better to build friendships than distract yourself with too much cleaning. Because sometimes when we work on ourselves, the cleaning is easier. Um, it's not as burdened, or, uh, when you're in a depressed mode, things are a struggle. And if we can heighten our energy, lift our spirits, we exchange energy with people, and people are drawn to positive energy. And if we're in a negative, people sense it. People can sense what we're feeling. They can sense a lot of time. If you've ever seen animals, they can sense somebody's energy. I have a dog who is really calm, best dog in the world. Um, Real chill around 96% of people, maybe even 97%. But there's certain people, and it's wild. Like, what is up with this dog? Why is she freaking out right now? The person's minding their own business, not really close to us, and she's acting out of character. And she is sensing something, just like how my dog is acting different. That's like us. When we feel something unsafe, we react. And my dog went into that, had like an adrenaline rush to protect, as that fight or flight or fawn. And that's kind of where we are. We don't even realize it sometimes, but when we're with a narcissist, we feel that energy. Even if we don't realize what's going on, we're feeling or hearing the negative energy, and it's causing chemical reactions in us. And we react out of character. That was out of my dog's character to act that way. And sometimes it's unseen. Like, where is it coming from? You look back with this cognitive dissonance, you're like, was it really that big of a deal that he got upset the way I parked? Did I have to get that upset? Or whatever your situation might have been. But we're like, where did that come from? And it's coming from that energy we're receiving, where we should be in a safe mode. Like, I'm totally safe around my dog, but the dog sensed energy when, and I wish I knew exactly the person's story. I don't know what it is about a few people that my dog gets angry about, because we have more than one mailman, and most of them, the dog has no problem, but there is one that she barks. It's that energy. It's not because it's a mailman. It's not because they're carrying something. It's not because they're walking across our property. Because she's okay with all the other male people. So, when we're with a narcissist, we got brain trauma going on, physical trauma going on, not knowing if we leave or stay. It's a constant stress relief, stress relief, stress relief. And that is what causes a deeper trauma bond. You know, when I was at burn victim, I was under stress. And, you know, you can kind of, it's hard to say the right way, kind of cope with it because you don't want to be under too much stress. Constant stress is dangerous too. But your mind can work like, I have to deal with it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I just have to stay strong, follow the directions of cleaning and resting and eating properly. But with narcissistic abuse, you don't know when to leave. You don't know when to stay. All the lies, it gets so confusing. So when we're confused, just like when you're taking a math test, if you're confused on which theory do I use, which, you don't know how to solve it. You don't know how to solve it. You might know if you could take time and focus, get your mind together, pull from your memory and your thoughts and do the math problem. But we're in a constant state of confusion with the narcissist that it's hard to make the right decision. Since they've lied so much or kept things from us, when we try to make things better, it can blow up in our face. So we use every resource we have to do the right decision. And even that fails. So based on who you are, your experiences, we all experience things from our perspective. So you might disagree that, you know, certain traumas could be worse. Depends on the degree, depends on your experiences. And I'm not trying to discount anybody. I told you based on my experience and this lady's experience, that sometimes in my eyes, it was worse than rape and being a burn victim. And it can be that traumatic. It can be that traumatic. I don't go to bed crying over my burns. I don't go to bed crying. It was hard for a while. It was hard for a while with the rapes, a little skittish, things like that, more cautious. But it wasn't like a constant fear of it happening again, which it did. But you never know. And that's why we really have to start watching for red flags. And the hardest part is we can't always see them, especially with a narcissist or a psychopath or they're master manipulators. They do the grooming. And, you know, it can be devastating. So the reason for this video is not to discount anybody, but to say, if you're wondering, do I stay in this relationship or do I go back? You have to remember, if we want to go back, it's us trying to justify things or us being in denial or us, hopefully you've released the anger and you don't want revenge. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's not going to bring you closure. It's not going to bring you peace. And, you know, in my eyes, I don't like to risk jail or marks on my record. So if you feel like popping their tires, scratching their tires, stalking them, things like that, just be careful because you can get criminal charges for that. And I don't think that's worth risking for a haha, because the narcissist isn't going to care. They're going to come at you 10 times worse and make your life a living hell. So avoid things that make your life a living hell is what I try to live by. But comment below on how you feel, because I'm not trying to discount anybody's experiences. I'm just trying to say some of us, from our own experiences, loving someone was more traumatic. than being a burn victim in the hospital for 6 months. It was more traumatic than any of the surgeries I've been through. And the rapes, some rapes are different. Mine, like I said, I went limp. I wasn't strangled. I've tried to fight off, but some I know are a war zone, very different than mine. Mine was unwelcomed, but everybody goes through different things. So big hugs to you guys. And it hurts because it's physical, it's mental, it's confusion, it's a loss of our reality and a loss of ourselves. That's the biggest pain. When I was a burn victim, I was still me. When I was with a narcissist, you don't know who you are. They take from you and you lose yourself. So get back to being yourself and I'll help you along the way. Hope that was helpful. See you in the next video.